What's up, guys? Welcome to the golf training e-course for mobility, stability, and performance secrets. No more bullshit. I'm super happy that you chose to take the leap to find out a little bit more about golf fitness. You want to learn how to move correctly so that the game becomes easier. Your body just knows how to play. Your confidence will skyrocket. Your motivation to get better will increase. There's so many different benefits to improving in this game from a fitness standpoint, from an exercise level. What I'm going to teach you guys as part of this series of events that's going to lead up to the golf improvement playbook. Now, I can't be more excited about this playbook. Listen, it has been in the works for a while. I want to get you excited about this playbook. What I've developed is a library of information on how to get better at golf. I'm going to teach you exactly how to do it. If you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced, pro, doesn't matter. You will be able to customize what you're looking at to improve your game in a way that suits you. Okay, so let me reintroduce you to Reborn Golf. Reborn Golf is a concept, it's a brand, it's my story. It's how I was reborn into this game from playing another sport. You know, I loved baseball, and what I did was I decided to play golf in my early 20s after baseball. And what happened, of course, was, you know, I was young, powerful, fast, all the things, but I couldn't play the game. I was scoring horrendously. I didn't have the fundamentals down. I didn't know how to chip and putt. I didn't have the creativity of short game. And no matter how hard you swing at it, if you're not doing it correctly, it doesn't matter. So I had to reinvent my body to play the game. Once that happened, everything became much easier to learn. It's not that my game changed overnight. Everything became easier to learn. My creativity went up in terms of shot shaping. I was more confident in hitting shots, and I just had the body control to do it. Okay, that's what's important. It's not about turning you into a super athlete. It's not about turning you into somebody you're not. We're going to work with the tools that you're giving us, and we're going to create you, rebirth you into a new type of golfer. So, Reborn Golf. Join the community. It's going to be so fun, and I'd love to have you a part of it. So, without further ado, the golf training e-course, mobility, stability, and performance secrets. So, a little bit about me. Obviously, first and foremost, I'm your host here. My name is Justin Langhill. I'm a golf fitness and power professional. I'm dedicated to helping golfers improve their game by optimizing body mechanics. Okay, as a former pitcher turned golf coach, I specialize in specific training. I specialize in alternative exercise. So 20 different ways to do a lunge. I can turn any exercise into an easier exercise or a harder exercise. That's my specialty. And I know how to mobilize, I know how to strengthen, and I know how to utilize you for your performance, your specific performance. That's what's most important, is what can you do? The key here is something that lasts. Okay, golf lessons, as much as I love them for particular players, they don't have that lasting effect. You get your lesson, you get your immediate gratification, you get a little better in the moment. And then what happens? It just starts to fizzle away. That's not why we want to take golf lessons. We want them so that they stick. You might learn a good drill, you might learn a good move that the coach puts you in, but that's training wheels. Okay, once the training wheels come off and the coach isn't there to coach you, it doesn't help much in the game. It's all about building a lasting, results-driven approach. I want to make sure that when you learn something from me, it sticks because your body learns it. You can't possibly forget it. There's a thing called muscle memory. This goes a little beyond muscle memory. If you're in the Raleigh area, we can absolutely work together in person, but I also do virtual and remote. Send me your swings. Send me your swings. Email me, justin@reborngolf.com. Send me all of the swings that you got. I'll send you back a quick breakdown. I'll let you know what I see right off the bat and see if it's a perspective you may or may not have heard before, but you know, I'm gonna do it for you. I wanna see everybody's swings. It's only gonna make me better. Here's an example of a YouTube submission. Guy asked me a complex question about his swing. I didn't know how to answer it off the top of my head in the moment for a paragraph, like in a paragraph form on a comment. So he sent in, I asked him to just send me a video. He sent it and I sent him back a thing, right? Like within 20 minutes. If I get it, I'll just do it. So he was super happy, and I appreciated him taking the, having the confidence to just send a swing in. I'm not here to bash you. So let's get into it. Module 1, this is probably one of the more important FAQs. Lessons versus training. When do I take a golf lesson? When do I need to do training? Do I need to do both? Let's figure out how to do that. So the first thing you need to do is figure out, is it your swing or is it a physical limitation? Okay, that's most important. Like if you have all the mobility pieces and you're powerful, you have strength, you have all the things, I don't need to go back to training. That's more of a maintenance thing. Or I don't need to go back to more of a body foundational level. I need to figure out what's technically wrong with my swing. We should all be working as one tandem unit in terms of the golf community. As a golf fitness professional, if I saw somebody had perfect mobility, i.e. like high school juniors pretty much, they just need to add strength. If they are not hitting the ball correctly, I'm going to send them to a swing coach, right? There's not much that I can do for them in terms of my expertise. So for physical limitations, we're looking at like restricted mobility, lack of core stability, obviously insufficient strength. Example would be a golfer who struggles with rotation or, has the early extension to the hips. They're not able to load their backside. They jump off the ground too quickly. These things are physical limitations that somebody struggles with and they're compensating. For a swing mechanic issue, you're looking at grip, poor sequencing, coming super over the top, just inconsistency, what most people struggle with. And an example would be someone who just constantly slice, like a weak slice, right? Of course. The thing we want to look at the most here is how often does a swing mechanic issue happen as a result of a physical limitation? That's what we need to figure out for the most part. If you're somebody who just has ball flight issues, inconsistency with your contact, poor club face, or just a general lack of golf knowledge, a lot of beginner stuff actually, right? So you should probably start out with a technical coach if you are in like the 90s or 100s. You're looking for a specific golf coach who can teach you the ABCs of golf. If you're past that and you're still struggling with inconsistencies like in the 90s, 80s, 70s, of course, then you're going to want a mix of both or figure out if your body's struggling as a result. So signs you'll need a fitness trainer. More than likely, you have limited mobility. That's always number one. Limited mobility is number one. You struggle to make a full turn. Your flexibility is likely limiting your swing. What's the difference between flexibility and mobility? Mobility is range of motion. Flexibility is strength and motion. Lack of strength or power. If your shots feel weak, if you can't generate club head speed, you can't get that fastest part of your swing from contact to extension. Those are things that are lacking strength, and likely it's some sort of body fault that's keeping you from achieving that consistency. Poor endurance or fatigue. Who gets tired after 13, 14 holes? That's another thing. We'll get into that a little bit later. Pain or discomfort. If you're dealing with the tweaks, if you're dealing with discomfort, something's always achy or tight, you shouldn't be playing or exercising through any sort of pain. Pain is something that needs to be handled by a medical professional, physical therapist, something like that. Discomfort, different story. We can usually work around discomfort. That's probably being caused by some sort of root issue. And that's going to take a fitness trainer to figure it out, or a physical therapist. If you're one of those people right now and you're thinking, well, I have inconsistency, if you've been playing 10, 20, 30 years and you know how to play the game, but your inconsistencies are there because of most likely just being tight and not swinging correctly, more than likely you started going 0 to 100 right out of the gate. And all you've been doing is swinging and you haven't been training for it. So there's nothing more to learn on the technical aspect. You've probably heard it all before. So consult an expert like myself. Okay, a golf fitness expert can evaluate your body swing connection, determine the best course of action. A lot of the times it'll just be an assessment. Well, right off the bat, I'll tell you if you need me or you need Sean Foley. Okay, you need a trustworthy person who's going to lead you in the right direction. Just a consultation. And then video analysis. Record your swing. Send it to somebody. Get expert secondary opinions. If movement looks smooth but the ball flight's poor, probably need technical coaching. If movement looks stiff, restricted, jumpy, anything like that, physical training is likely necessary at that point. Okay, 3 keys your body affects your swing. Limited mobility, restriction and rotation. All the mobile joints, anything that moves in a 360 motion. Okay, my neck can go 360, my elbow cannot. Okay, so those joints need to be warmed up differently. They need to be lubed up in a different way. Okay, for your stable joints like my elbow, my knee, lower back, they only move in one direction, one fold. Poor stability leads to swing inconsistencies. If you do not have a good contact with the ground, think about your kinematic sequence here. Everything starts from the ground, it goes all the way up to the club head and then all the way back down to the ball. So if there's a kink in that chain where there's a mobility issue or a strength issue or an injury, something your body is subconsciously avoiding, the only consistency you'll be able to count on is your inconsistency. So lack of core stability is difficult to maintain posture. That's a huge thing. Maintaining posture in the golf swing is one of the main things that I look for, along with disassociation. The 2 things that I look for that are key in how your body affects your golf swing is, can you maintain posture throughout the swing? And can your body properly disassociate? So separating upper body from lower body. And then lastly, lack of strength reduces your speed and power. Okay, multiple variations of strength in all planes of movement, particularly in the legs and core, essential for club head speed. Again, that kinematic sequence going up and down the chain, just having weakness that doesn't translate. Okay, so we're gonna go back to a foundational level here. You gotta get something out of this course. So key muscle groups used in golf, I'll breeze through this, but if you're really paying attention right now, core, abdominals, obliques, QL. So your core being your main abs, obliques being on the side, QL, the big back muscles in the back that everybody really feels the achiness in. Those all provide your rotational stability, prevents excessive swaying, loss of posture. If you have a weak core, your back is going to be affected. Your core protects your spine. Weak core, weak back, problem in golf. Glutes, hip stability and power. Glutes are the king of the golf swing. Your core is queen. The glutes control everything. If you have strong glutes, then you're not going to have hamstring issues. You may not even have lower back issues. Glutes are crucial for lower body stability. And the lower body really starts in the lower back. So generating that power from the ground up has to go through that midpoint. And if that's weak in any way, it's going to be an issue. And lastly would be the shoulders. Of course, your shoulders, deltoids, rotator cuffs, scap muscles. Let's understand that a lot of people, especially golfers, a lot of golfers have rotator cuff tears, partial tears, injuries. The break side of your golf swing, whether you're lefty or righty. So if I extend and try to break on my left side as a righty or right side as a lefty, it's taking a beating every time you hit the ball. Not training both sides is detrimental to one side. It's like trying to stop an 18-wheeler with an e-brake. Okay, so that was pretty much an intro to golf fitness and why golf fitness would be the better option for you if you find yourself as somebody who doesn't exactly need a technical lesson. So for module 2, let's go into a little bit more detail on identifying golf fitness over golf lessons for you specifically. Then we'll implement a plan and we'll attack. We went over this already. I'm just going to breeze through it. This is more for you to see just all on paper right here. Limited mobility, lack of core strength, poor balance, insufficient strength and power. We've said all those things. Here are some more examples on what that actually means, right? Thoracic spine, hip tightness, ankle restrictions. If you can't get your butt to the ground in a squat, more than likely you have an ankle mobility issue. If you sit on the ground in a 90-90 position in one of my videos, I'll show you. If you sit on the ground and just rotate your knees left and right and they don't touch the ground on either side, more than likely you have hip tightness. For thoracic spine, I want to be able to rotate and not move my lower body, okay? Lack of core strength, weak obliques. Obviously, we talked about the back issues with that. Overuse of the arms instead of the body. The body swings the club. Why would I just use one half? There's a really good example that I use in a lot of my lessons, and I usually say, if I was going to punch you in the chest, right in the middle of the chest, or kick you right in the middle of the chest, like donkey kick you, what would hurt more? Okay, well, usually everybody thinks about it and they're like, well, they both would hurt. I'm like, yeah, they both would hurt, but which one's more likely to break a rib? Probably the donkey kick, because my legs are stronger than my arms. If I punched you as hard as I could and kicked you as hard as I could, more than likely I'm going to hurt you way worse with a kick. So where do we want the power to come from? I want it to come from my legs. I can't use my arms and try to hit the furthest golf shot that I've ever hit. Another big one is grip and forearm weakness. Okay, gripping the golf club is essential for getting it out of thick rough. Having a strong grip will get you more power in a golf shot. So focusing on wrist strength and wrist mobility, not having any pain there, and just general forearm strength will also avoid golfer's elbow. It'll avoid tendonitis. A lot of pros these days have wrist injuries, and I can promise you it's for grip strength. Let's look on how to identify your physical limitations before training. I have a few pictures here. One of them is just a general setup with all the lines that I like to use during a golf lesson, where I'll check your swing plane, your posture, your headline, butt line, make sure you're not overextending, losing your posture, what's your swing look like, does it stay inside the lines, do you come too far inside, do you shift during flight? And then the other two would just be, all right, do your hips move while your foot is planted? Can you rotate while your lead foot is planted? Can you shift the upper body? Can you rotate while the knees and feet stay together? All these three things here are different, but they all tell the same story. Okay, my swing is going to show things as a result of what I can't do in physical tests. If I pass all the tests, fantastic. More than likely, highly likely, I'm not going to have a good golf fitness handicap score, even if I'm a scratch golfer. So it doesn't matter where you're at in terms of your game, the physical limitations are something you should tackle before you get started anyway, in my opinion. So here's some examples of TPI body assessment tests: a pelvic rotation, torso rotation. That goes back to that disassociation piece. Does my upper body move separately than my lower body? Am I able to stabilize one or the other while the other one is in motion? 90-90 is a huge one. Can my shoulders rotate back in the golf swing and standing straight up? Lower quarter rotation is if my foot, if I have all my weight on my lead foot, am I able to rotate my hips? Tough for a lot of people. I don't think I've ever met anybody who's passed that test. And then an overhead deep squat, as you can see, requires a good amount of ankle mobility just to get into that position. And then we ask you to keep your arms overhead, and more than likely they're going to come forward due to poor thoracic extension. A lot of people sit. A lot of people have that C posture where your back's shaped like a C. You'd be surprised. You'd be very surprised what your swing shows on camera. A lot of people I've talked to as well have never seen their swing on camera. And then here's a piece that we're about to get into big time, is the basic swing characteristics. So I put some of the main ones up here, but I want to highlight a huge difference. So over the top, early extension, hanging back, trying to scoop the ball up, having a slide. You see knees come forward quite often, or a chicken wing. Not all swing characteristics are swing faults. Only if they affect your performance do they become faults. Physical limitations, that will always impact your performance. So body tests, those TPI body tests will reveal the root cause of your issues. Failing multiple tests will just confirm it. That restrictions limit your swing efficiency, power, and consistency. Okay, so creating a better golf swing starts with mobility. Mobility is something we're about to talk about for sure. Improving your rotation, improving your range of motion will increase your club head speed, will increase your power before we even get into any power or speed exercises. You will be unlocked, per se. So, we hear the word unlock your swing, unlock your whatever. It's only going to happen if you improve your range of motion, improve your mobility, and your quality of life as well. Mobility will help your posture, balance, all the things. And I'm a huge advocate of mobility because it's what helped me in my early 20s. I thought I was strong until I just got back to a base level of body weight stuff that I was able to move better. My pain went away. And I hear it day after day from my clients. They say, like, this mobility stuff I've never done any of this, but holy crap, like, I'm sore. I'm like, yeah, we're just unlocking. That's all we're doing. And it'll also improve your consistency and accuracy. So when the body moves freely without restriction, everything becomes repeatable. And you feel it, so it will last. So here's a little bit of library for you. So I'm not going to show you the videos. That's for another time. You got to sign up for the playbook. But key mobility exercises for golfers. Obviously hips, thoracic spine, shoulders. I'm saying the same things over and over. That's for a reason. There's importance there. So many different things. There are so many different very basic moves. And mobility is my favorite thing to teach because you do not have to get home from work, change into a new outfit, be prepared to sweat and go to the gym, or just like find the motivation to do it. A lot of the time I do my mobility work while I'm watching my shows. Whatever show I want to watch, I'm right in the living room. I just got to move the coffee table. That's the hardest thing I'll have to do. The most important part of training with me is understanding when I tell you, the one thing I advocate for the most is you do not go 0 to 100 with this stuff. That's why January resolution people for the new year do not work out, because they try to go from working out maybe 1 day a week or 2 days every 2 weeks to 4 or 5 days a week. You're going to burn out. Your schedule is not going to adjust that quickly. So start with mobility for like 2-3 weeks. Get into the habit of just moving in a different way. It's all linked. You have the video instruction. You just have to follow it. It takes 10-15 minutes, maybe 20 tops. And then you can add on from there. That's how we do it. Here's a look into golf training, what structure would look like. So always pre-round preparation. Number one, always pre-round preparation. Whether you're working out or swinging, some mobility work is required to activate. Swing practice or strength training, some sort of golf-specific training, a cool down and recovery. Notice that those are two separate things. Cool down is not recovery. Okay, we want to make sure that we're post-stretching in some way, just keeping the blood flowing after we're done. So walking the dog, just walking around in general. Anything that involves just not sitting on the couch and being done for the night. Recovery is different. We'll get to that. Golf training doesn't always involve weights. A lot of it is just basic resistance training. If you have bands in the house, if you have a laundry list of things that you have that you never touch or sometimes use, don't know how to use it, I help you with that as well. So resistance training tailored for golfers, lower body power and stability. All of these exercises can be done in a house. Okay, you never have to leave your place. Even the ones where I'm at the gym. The only one on here that you'd probably need a gym for would be that inverted row. You tell me what you have, we'll make it work. You got a gym? Great, we can do more stuff. Notice all those exercises, they are unique in that it doesn't involve a lot of weight, but they're still difficult to do. You're just using the right muscles. Directly translates to your golf game. All right, lastly, module 3, how to structure this thing. How do we put this all together and make it unique to you? This training and playing, like this seems like a lot. How am I gonna fit it into my schedule? Okay, structuring a practice session for maximum improvement. Many golfers practice without a structured plan. You don't have a plan. You go to the driving range and just beat balls. It ain't gonna work like that. You don't just get better that way. I don't care what anybody tells you. You don't get better by just beating balls with no plan, just like anything else. Let's start with the warm-up, right? Pre-round preparation. I'm always trying to do a dynamic stretch, a mobility. I will literally walk up to you if you're at the range just like leaning backwards and rotating like left and right. I'll say, no, we're gonna do this instead. Like I can't just sit idly by and watch you attempt to hurt yourself. Everyone, a lot of people, I won't say everyone, a lot of people will stretch before they're before they hit balls at the range. I see it. They just don't know what to do. They have no clue. And then their anxiety kicks in. People are watching me stretch. Let me give you a program that is like 3 or 4 exercises that you can do at the range and not feel weird about it. I don't care. I'll get down on the ground and start doing my hip mobility stuff. It's all in an attempt to not get injured. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to feel discomfort, and I don't want anything to flare up. So dynamic stretching, mobility drills, nothing static. Okay, if my shoulder moves 360, pulling it across my chest and holding a stretch is not stretching. That's a cool down. That's not how my shoulder is going to warm up. I need to move it in the way it's supposed to be moved. Left and right, back and forth, all planes of motion. Incorporate light swings as well. Start working from like flip a club over and feel the speed. 30%, 40%, 50%, work your way up to 120. And then another myth I'd like to debunk is the heavy weighted club thing. So it's not baseball. Golf is different than baseball. I can't put 3 clubs in my hand, swing it, and say, this is how I warm up. What that's doing is teaching your body to move slow when you want to swing fast. So my body's moving slow when you swing the 3 clubs. And then I put a club in my hand and I swing super fast. Your body's actually it's not reacting to that the same way baseball is. Because baseball, you have to lean back and extend. In golf, I'm trying to send my body forward. So I want to teach my body faster speed than my arms. So if my arms feel light and get ahead of me, I'm screwed. It doesn't work. So I hope that really helps somebody out there who's been doing that, because it will immediately help. If you flip a 5-iron over, start at 30%, 40%, 50%, just gradually build yourself up and feel the harder whoosh every time. Use your body to do it. That's a warm-up. Go to technical focus. Work on specific swing mechanics. That's when you start working on your takeaway, working on pausing at the top, get a better transition, use alignment sticks, aim at something, whatever training aid you might have. Slow motion swings without a ball, feeling things will help you get better more than just being put in the positions that you're supposed to be in. It doesn't help much when you're trying to take it to the course. Shot variability practice. Experiment with different types of shots. Get creative. Use different clubs. If you're working on something, that's fine, but I don't want to hit my 7-iron 15, 20 times in a row. Like, it's not going to help me at anything in the game. Work on draws, work on fades, work on hitting it high, back of the stance, hitting it low, work on front of your stance, hitting it high. Those are ways you're going to get creative and help you create more shots on the course. Even if it's at the driving range where you just have a flat lie all the time. Just imagine these things. Get creative. Aim at things very specifically. Like, you got 2 trees in front of you 7 yards apart and you got to get through it. Simulate these on-course situations. Practice how you play. Use pressure drills. You got to hit 3 fairways in a row. I used to hit 10 balls chipping onto a putting green, and I could not leave unless I was over 75% one putts. That's just, it's fun. But add the competition into it. And then performance and mental training. So when we say mental training, it's pretty much kind of the same thing as the pressure drills. Put a little pressure on yourself. Play 9 holes at the driving range with the balls you have. A great way I teach this is, hit driver, 3-wood, 4-iron, whatever, a tee shot club. Based on how that shot comes out, pick the next club based on that. So if you stripe it right down the middle, grab a wedge. If you piss it off to the right or left, or don't hit a good shot, top it or something, grab a longer iron. Grab something that's like, oh, I'm probably going to have 180, 190 in here. That's mock play. When you go play, you're going to be able to adjust yourself better. Don't be afraid of any club in your bag. Work through it. And then, of course, one of the biggest mental techniques you can ever learn is a pre-shot routine. Having a pre-shot routine will create ritual, will create consistency, and having consistency before you're even ready to swing is ideal. Every pro has one, which finally brings us to, after all that, let's get to recovery, hydration, nutrition. I'm not going to slam your nutrition habits. I'm not a dietitian. Let's just talk about the basics. Sleeping. You know you should be between 6 and 9 hours. Foam rolling and stretching, huge. I love a foam roller. Get yourself a foam roller immediately. Helps prevent stiffness, promotes the blood flow. And then cold therapy. I'm not telling you to take long cold showers, but after a training session, a quick 30-second cold shower, at the end of your normal shower, hot shower, just crank it to cold and stay in there for a second. Reduces inflammation, really makes you feel better. Hydration, huge. I would never say don't have beer while playing golf, but you need to be drinking water while you play golf. Having poor dehydration will cause fatigue, poor decision making, even loss of coordination. Your balance will be affected. Add electrolytes to that, to your water. And during play, I'm not going to tell you what to eat before or after a round, but snacks are huge. I'll never say that don't drink alcohol. I enjoy beer on the course just like anybody else. But if I don't want to feel like complete shit after, you got to mix in some water and mix in the nutrients. How to balance practice, training, and recovery. Here's just a quick screenshot of a Monday through Sunday, and you can mix these up as much as you want. You can cut some out as much as you want. More than likely, you're not a professional golfer. Everybody's schedule is going to be pretty stacked with responsibilities and duties. But listen to your body. If you're fatigued, focus on mobility instead of lifting heavy or going to the range. Prioritize mobility and recovery more than anything. Okay, this keeps the body fresh, prevents injury. It's not just about swinging. In this table, basically, we're looking at 2 days of strength, 4 days of golf, 5 days technically of mobility, and 1 day a week playing 18 holes. Sounds pretty similar to most people's general fitness schedule or golf schedule anyway. Probably just adding more mobility. Think about adding 5 days of 15 minutes of mobility, changing your entire game. Okay, this is where I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off, particularly older folks. Playing golf is not a workout. It is not a workout in itself. It's great. It's great that you're walking. It's low intensity. It doesn't build muscle. And it's a repetitive motion on one side, not both. So while golf requires power, it doesn't build muscle. Resistance and strength training does. Golf is a marathon and a sprint. So it involves short bursts of activity, but doesn't provide that continuous exertion. Like your heart rate will never exceed what it needs to really be burning. It's just over a long period of time, which is why the nutrition and the hydration really come into play. So without mobility and strength training, golfers are at high risk of chronic pain. I don't know about you, but I really want to shoot my age one day for 18 holes. That's a huge goal of mine. Okay, so that brings us to basing what you need to do based on skill. So for beginners, learn both. Ideally, you'd want to go to a swing coach first to get the basics, the ABCs down, and then work your way into mixed training. But you'd be focused on mobility for sure. If you're stiff, those lessons aren't going to help you very much. Emphasize that core stability and endurance. For intermediate golfers, this is where most people lie. We'll say even 8 to 15 handicaps. You probably already have a general fitness exercise that you work on. You'd really want to combine the range practice with the fitness work for optimal performance. You probably struggle with mobility. It definitely affects your consistency. The two top things that people ask me for when they golf, what are the 2 goals you have? Top 2. I'd like to hit the ball further, and I want to be more consistent in contact. Both of those things require fitness. So if you're not willing to put in that work, then you're not going to see the results. The long way is the shortcut. Advanced golfers, so pros, we want to maximize force production. We want to use the ground better in our workouts. A lot of things that are isometric, one side, find the imbalances, even them out. Fine-tune your mobility, work on the strategies for injury prevention, and get all the feedback necessary, all the numbers, everything you got, from TrackMan to K-Vest, 3D motion and out, whatever you got. Know every number down to a T. All right, that was a lot of information. Again, I can't believe this is free. What I want to do now is invite you guys to join this community of reborn golfers who are looking to take their game to the next level and knowing that they have to go back to do it, not move forward yet. Everybody goes 0 to 100. They go straight to full swings. We got to take it back. I want your journey to begin with me, new, here. Ongoing improvement requires support. I want to hold you accountable the same way I held myself accountable. Being my own best customer got me here. Be reborn in this game so you can play forever. Anytime you want to send me a swing or ask a question, I'm available to you. Some of the people I work with have left great testimonials, all available on Google and Yelp to go review for yourself. You can take a second to read some of these, but I appreciate everybody I work with. I love all my clients to death because they come with the same passion that I had. They know what they need to do to get better. They've taken it back to that level of saying, it's my fitness, it's my mobility. You're going to get to that point. I've seen it from people all over the country, all over the world. People have messaged me, sending me their swings, showing me what they think they're struggling with. And I don't tell them how wrong they are. I tell them what it's going to take. A lot of the times from the fitness perspective, they appreciate it and want to learn more because they know that that's the answer. And again, the long road is the shortcut. That's 2 months I'd be willing to put in for a lifetime of happiness in this game, essentially, or knowing where I need to go from here. Okay, you're already on the wait list. If you're not, join the wait list for free releases. What you're going to do now, if you haven't already, is follow me on Instagram and YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Instagram for all the things I put out there, and just engage, comment, tell me what you're struggling with, DM me, message me directly. Unless you're throwing complete hate, I'm going to respond. And you can click these 2 links below. 1, sign up for the playbook, and 2, so I have this page called Play from the Tips. Everything's free. If you learned something here and you want to show a little gratitude, you're more than welcome to leave a donation. Leave a tip. If you enjoyed it, if you learned something, feel free to tip. I want to put out as much content for free as I can, and I will continue to do so. I hope you learned something and you know where to go now to take your game to the next level. My name is Justin Langhill. Welcome to Reborn Golf. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.